Well, good morning. This is Pastor Steve, and I'm so delighted that you've taken time this morning to be with us for our daily devotional for Monday, August the 10th. It's always great to have you with us. This morning I was reading from the book of Lamentations from the Old Testament. Lamentations was written at a time following the destruction of the Jerusalem temple by the Babylonians and Israel's people taken into exile. It was a horrible time. Time of great devastation, and life as Israel had known it was no more. And the chapter that I was reading in chapter 3 is written in the first person. An individual who is recounting just the destruction and devastation that he's felt, but he also remembers the faithfulness of the Lord. And in chapter 3, these words are written: "Remember my affliction and my wanderings, the wormwood and the gall. My soul continually remembers it. It is bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him." And in all of the chaos in the world around the Israelites at this time, this gentleman writes these words about God's faithfulness, the steadfast love that endures, new mercies every day. And just so happened that my son Kevin came across a tweet from Andy Stanley that he thought that I would enjoy, and so he sent it to me just a day or two ago. And I'd like to share that with you this morning because it really fits, I think, with the passage this morning. So here are the words from Andy Stanley. "Sometimes I just want it to stop. Talk of COVID, looting, brutality. I lose my way. I become convinced that this new normal is real life. Then I meet an 87-year-old who talks of living through polio, diphtheria, Vietnam protests, and yet is still enchanted with life. He seemed surprised when I said that 2020 must be especially challenging for him. 'No,' he said, slowly looking me straight in the eyes. 'I learned a long time ago not to see the world through printed headlines. I see the world through the people that surround me. I see the world with the realization that we love big. Therefore, I just choose to write my own headlines. Husband loves wife today. Family drops everything to come to grandma's bedside.' He patted my hand. 'Old man makes new friend.' His words collide with my worries, freeing them from the tether I'd been holding tight," Stanley says. "They float away. I'm left with a renewed spirit and a new way to write my own headlines." What a wonderful thought to be able to write our own headlines, to write the headlines of the things that we see and that we do, and just the simple pleasures and mercies and blessings that we have every day coming to someone's aid, telling our spouse and our children we love them, doing something for a neighbor. Wouldn't it be wonderful if our headlines were those things instead of what we hear on the news channels or read in the newspapers? I might write this headline: "Son finds encouraging words and sends them to his dad." I really appreciate that. I wonder if today you could think about the headlines that you can write from days gone by, recent days, headlines that you can write for today and for tomorrow. What would those headlines be? How might they compare to the ones that we read about in the newspapers or see on the news channels? The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. And we know that passage is the passage that generated the great hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, that we sing at Winfrey so many times. What a great hymn and what a great passage. And I love thinking about that today and the headlines that I look forward to writing at the end of this day and the ones that I can write tomorrow. And how might they compare to what goes on around us? And wouldn't it be wonderful if all of the headlines that we could all write would suddenly become the headlines that we do see on the news channels and in the newspapers? And perhaps today you can jot this verse down and memorize it, that comes from Lamentations 3:22 and 23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Indeed, great is the Lord's faithfulness. Thanks again for being with us this morning. I'm so delighted that you have taken time to share in this devotional. I hope you have a great day. God bless.